Good morning, trainees. It's so good to see you guys back again for day 2 of our deep sea diver training. Now, yesterday we successfully navigated the sunken ship to find the second part of the map. And this bit of the map is going to lead us to the shark's den. Now, that may seem quite scary, but after yesterday's lesson of trusting, I think we can trust Captain Coral. Now, we've got quite a long way to go today, so I think we should warm up with a song. How about Whoopah Wahey? Everyone up on your feet.
God loves me, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you, Whoopah Wahey. God loves us, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you. God loves me, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you, Whoopah Wahey. God loves us, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you. I'm gonna shout, gonna make some noise. I'm gonna sing, gonna raise my voice. I'm gonna dance, gonna go a little crazy with you. We go. I'm gonna jump up high. I'm gonna raise my hands to the sky. I'm gonna dance, gonna go completely loopy with you. Yeah, 'cause God loves me, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you, Whoopah Wahey. God loves us, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you, yeah. God loves me, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you, Whoopah Wahey. God loves us, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you. I'm gonna shout, gonna make some noise. I'm gonna sing, gonna raise my voice. I'm gonna dance, gonna go a little crazy with you. Where you go? I'm gonna jump up high. I'm gonna raise my hands to the sky. I'm gonna dance, gonna go completely loopy with you. Yeah, 'cause God loves me, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you, Whoopah Wahey. God loves us, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you, yeah. God loves me, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you, Whoopah Wahey. God loves us, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you. Try this. Whoopah Wahey. Whoopah Wahey. Whoopah Wahey. God loves you and nothing you can do will ever change that. Whoopah Wahey. Whoopah Wahey. Whoopah Wahey. God loves you and nothing you can do will ever change that. God loves me, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you, Whoopah Wahey. God loves us, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you, yes He does. God loves me, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you, Whoopah Wahey. God loves us, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you. Oh, God loves me, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you, Whoopah Wahey. God loves us, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you, yeah. God loves me, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you, Whoopah Wahey. God loves us, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you. Oh, God loves us, Whoopah Wahey. God loves you.
Whew, that's a tough song. All that jumping really gets your heart rate up. Now, while we were doing that, Captain Coral has sent us another story. I'm really excited. I really liked yesterday's, and I hope this one can be just as cool. Let's take a look.
As soon as he realised that the Israelites had finally gone, Pharaoh flew into a rage. "We should never have let them go! Never!" He was already striding down the vast halls of the royal palace, calling into the night, "I want my slaves, all my slaves, back at work, building my cities! We must fetch them back now!" His generals obeyed. They summoned all their bravest men and set out at once with more than 600 gleaming chariots, the finest and fastest in Egypt. Pharaoh himself rode at the head, whipping his horses and shouting his army on through the darkness. The Israelites were camped near the Red Sea, a wide stretch of water also known as the Sea of Reeds. They looked up to see chariots appearing on the horizon. The shout went around, "The Egyptians! Egyptian horsemen! Pharaoh's army!" The people surged towards Moses. "Now look," they called in terror, "the Egyptian army is coming to destroy us." They were trapped, Egyptians on one side, water on the other. Moses looked at them calmly, completely untroubled by the wild panic that was spreading through the crowd. "Don't be afraid. Stand still and see how God will save you. All these Egyptians that you see today, you'll never see again. God will fight for you." They looked at him doubtfully, fearfully, but he raised his hand. "All you have to do is stay calm," he said. Then God told Moses to stretch his arm out across the water. "The Israelites will walk over the dry land," said God, "but the Egyptians will follow them to their deaths." It was dark when the Israelites heard a howling wind coming from the east. They saw Moses stretching his hand out across the great waters. Behind them were the Egyptians ready to pursue them and take them back into slavery. The wind was roaring. Right in front of them, the waters were rising, separating into two huge cascading walls. "Go!" shouted Moses, and the Israelites walked across on dry land, every man, woman and child. They passed safely between the vast, dark, rumbling walls raised by the furious gale that was blowing. It was nearly dawn when the Egyptians saw what had happened. Pharaoh urged his warriors on. "Come on!" he shouted. "After them! Capture them!" They rode madly and recklessly towards the great pathway and hurtled onwards into the mud. Moses lifted his hand up once more. The Egyptian chariots floundered and sank, their wheels breaking loose. Slowly, terrifyingly, the great walls of water collapsed in a thunder, a storm of waves returning until the whole sea was level once again. Not one single Egyptian could be seen. No one survived. The Israelites gathered around Moses in the day of light and blessed God for saving them with his almighty power.
Wow, that was a cool story. I bet Moses felt really scared when he came up to the sea and didn't see any way across with the Egyptians behind him. It's kind of how I feel now we've made it to the shark's den and I can see all these sharks with no real way through. I don't even have a staff to help me part the sharks like Moses did. Well, how about you guys have a go at training task 3? What I need you to do is count all the sharks in the den, figure out how many there are. Just make sure not to get distracted by all the fish swimming around. On your marks, get set, get counting!
How many sharks did you count? We're about to show the answers, so if you want to, go back and re-watch if you think you need to do it again.
Wow, 8 sharks! Whew, that's quite a lot. Still not sure how we're going to get through there. Oh, I think that might be my phone ringing. Let's see who it is.
Hi Moses, great to see you. How are you?
Hi, I'm very well, thank you. I'm still getting used to this Zoom thing, but I think I'm getting the hang of it.
Oh, that's great. Me and the trainees were just hearing about one of your stories and about God's amazing power, and I was wondering if you could tell us about that.
Absolutely. God can do anything, and if you believe in him, he can do anything to help you, even in the most desperate of situations.
Well, it seems like you've had quite your share of perilous situations. So maybe you'd be able to tell us about your escape from Egypt.
Of course, that's a brilliant story. So, God had trusted me to help the Israelites, his people, out of Egypt, where they had been enslaved, and lead them to the promised land. On our journey, the Pharaoh and his army began to chase us. They got very close, and we were all very afraid because we were by the Red Sea with nowhere to go.
Oh, you must have been terrified. What happened next?
Well, I believed in the Lord, and he saved us.
Oh.
He stopped the Egyptians from getting any closer to us with a pillar of fire. And then he tells me to raise my staff over the water. And that's when the most miraculous thing happened.
I remember this bit. I remember it. The staff parted the sea. We just saw that in our story.
Well, it wasn't quite the staff. It was God through the staff that parted the sea. But yes, the sea split open and we allowed the Israelites to pass through on dry land. And through the power of God, we made it all very safely.
Oh, that's incredible. So God can literally move the sea.
And many other things besides, but God can and will do anything to protect his people.
That's so amazing. God can do so much to protect us. Oh, thanks for chatting to us today, Moses. It's been great to hear from you again.
Lovely to hear from you too.
I
Good
best
luck
get
with the-
back. Yes, goodbye,
Right,
Moses.
how do I hang up?
It's the
Yeah,
button at the bottom. Bye.
Wow, it's great to talk to Moses again. He's been on some really cool adventures. And maybe Captain Coral will protect us from the sharks, just like God protected Moses from the Egyptians. Well, I think it's time for another song. Everyone up on your feet and we'll sing our theme song.
We're deep sea divers, we're survivors, a great big team searching for what we need. It's God who will forgive our flaws. It's God who will protect us all. It's God. We choose to trust him 'cause he loves us. Yes, he loves us. It's God. We can find the jewels. Just keep following the trail. And with him on our side, we won't fail. It's God who will forgive our flaws. It's God who will protect us all. It's God. We choose to trust him 'cause he loves us. Yes, he loves us. And there'll be bumps along the road, but he will always stay by our side when we need him most. He'll be there every day. It's God who will forgive our flaws. It's God who will protect us all. It's God. We choose to trust in him. Trust in him. Yes, trust. It's God who will forgive our flaws. It's God who will protect us all. It's God. Yes, we choose to trust in him. Trust in him. Yes, trust. It's God.
Wow, guys, that was some awesome dancing. Now, while you were busy doing that, I found this under a rock. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is Captain Coral's legendary shark-proof cape. If I put this on, the sharks won't come near me. I'll be protected and I can go and get the next piece of the map. Let's give it a go. be the next piece of the map. Let's see where it's going to lead us. Seems to be leading us to a mermaid's cave. And look on the back, protected by God. That must be talking about how God protected Moses from the Egyptians and protected all of them when they were going through the Red Sea. That's amazing. I've also got a video from Rapha and Cherub. I wonder what they've got to say about all this.
Well, Cherub, did you do any homework last night, or were you watching Ice Age 2 on Angel Flicks?
Actually, Rapha, I did do some homework last night. I watched the whole Moses box set back to back.
And what did you think?
I wish we had popcorn up here in heaven.
Honestly, Cherub, I mean about the stories.
Honestly, Rapha, it was a joke. You archangels don't do jokes, do you? Well, I thought it was all pretty scary and pretty exciting. I mean, they've been living in Egypt for 430 years, then suddenly they pack up and walk off into the desert. No map, no sat-nav, no Deliveroo. Then they end up stuck at the sea with the Egyptian army chasing them. Scary biscuits.
Well, Cherub, do you remember yesterday's story? It was about Peter walking on water, about trusting the boss. This is a much older story about trusting the boss. Think about it.
So when they start moaning, we're gonna die, we should have stayed in Egypt. And Moses goes, no, we're not. The boss is gonna protect us. Just watch.
Exactly, Cherub. The story of Moses is one problem after another. Each time the humans moan, and each time the boss does something amazing to protect them. Unfortunately, humans don't seem to be very good at remembering. The boss has to remind them over and over again.
Wow, I would have really loved to see that water pile up for them to walk right through. Do you think they found shipwrecks and treasure when they walked across? Brenda Bubbles and Captain Coral would have loved that.
They probably did find shipwrecks, but more importantly, they found that the boss could protect them, even when it looked impossible.
That's the kind of treasure, isn't it, Rapha?
At last, we're getting somewhere, Cherub.
Well, I wonder what tomorrow's treasure will be. This holiday club is really fun and even a bit interesting. I'm really glad I came.
Well, here's the programme for tomorrow, Cherub. Off you go and do some homework. Remember, this is a project, not a holiday for cherubs. Oh, but Cherub, before you go, your halo may have had a little slip. Do tidy yourself up before tomorrow. Bye.
Wow, I'm so glad to hear from those guys. They've always got something really interesting to say. And we were right. The message must have been about God protecting Moses. Now, before we can go, you guys need to get on with training task 4, box construction. I think Debbie can help us with this one too.
Morning everyone, my name's Debbie and I'm going to talk you through today's craft. So in today's envelope you will have lots and lots of lollipop sticks. And today we're going to make a chest to keep, or a pot to keep our treasures in the same way that God treasured Moses and the chosen people and kept them safe as they were crossing the river. So we're going to make a pot. So what we need to work out is we need to find 11 sticks that will form the base of our pot. So I've got a few coloured ones, you'll have a mixture as well, so I think I'll use my coloured ones on the base. And so I need 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Is that right? 3, 6, 9, 10. Yeah, that's right. There we go. So I'm going to do them like that, that order there. Whoops. And what you need to make sure, as I've learnt from bitter experience, is that these lollipop sticks sometimes aren't exactly straight. So this one, for instance, has got a wobble on it. Don't use those for your base, so make sure that they're lying quite flat. I think they're all right. The purple one seems to have a bit of a mind of its own. I think we'll be all right. So that's going to be our base. And what we now need to do is pick out 3 fairly plain, straight lollipop sticks, and we're going to put them down there to basically stick everything together. So we need to get our glue, and we glue lots of glue all on there, like that, and then stick it as close to the edge there as you can to glue all of those sticks together. And then you're going to need to hold it down for a little while to make the glue stick. And then the same with this one, lots of glue on it, and down the middle like that. Whoops. And this is where they start to lift if there's any that have got a bit of a kink in them and a bit of a wobble. And then the same here, and then if you can, if your hands are big enough, which mine should be, you need to press them all 3 down at the same time. And the best thing to do, I haven't got time now, but the best thing to do would be find something fairly heavy, either a book or a saucepan or something. As you're grown up, I've got my hole punches here from yesterday's craft, so I'm going to leave that like that. I'm just going to leave that to try and see if they'll stick together a bit. And then we're going to build up the sides, so it's going to look something like this by the time we've finished. So I've got mostly plain, but you've got a mixture, so you need to decide how you're going to work that out. And what you can do is you could write a secret message on it that only you knew about on your treasure, so you can write it and it'll be in there, but only you will know it. So if you choose, you need a fairly thin pen if you're going to write on there, and I'm going to write Whoopah Wahey, if I can spell it. Oop, I'm not sure I've spelt it right, but never mind. There we are on that one. And then I'm going to write on this one, I'm going to write God loves me. So God loves me. Oops. And then perhaps on this one I'm going to write God loves you. Okay. And those can be my secret messages that are hidden inside my treasure chest. So hopefully that will have stuck. Oops, no it hasn't. But yours will if you leave it for a little while. And then you need to turn it over like that. And if it hasn't quite stuck, just line it all back up again. Like that. And I've got a nice stripy bottom. And then we need to start building our chest up. So we need to get a stick and you need to put glue just on the ends this time. You just need it on the ends. And you do one along there. And I'm going to do one of my secret ones. So I'm going to put the message upwards so that I can just see that there's some writing that will remind me that there is some secret writing there. And then I'm going to put that on there like that. And again, if you can hold it all together like that, it should hold down. And then I'm going to do the same again. So again, just on the ends now. I'm going to stick that on that side and one opposite it. I'll do another secret message one. Like that. Oh, I've done the secret message upside down. No, I'm not. I'm going to do it that way. I'll put the glue on. So if you put the glue on, it's fine because you can use it in the next layer anyway. Just don't stick your fingers to it. And then you do the other side, so put the glue on the ends and the other side there, like that. Whoops. And I'm doing this too fast, so it's not got time to stick really. And then like that. Like that. And then push it all down to hold it together again. And like I said, if you leave it a bit of time and then you build it up, so you do two that way, keep going until you've run out of sticks, and you'll get something that's a little bit taller than that. And once the glue's dried, it is quite sturdy, quite steady. And then if you wanted to, you could decorate it. So you could, with your pens, you could just colour in the edge of the boxes there. It's quite hard, but you could just colour in the edge of the sticks, so you could have a bit of colour on there. Or you could use a sticker on the top layer here. We haven't put stickers in today's pack, but there is a bag just of stickers in your big envelope, so you could find those stickers, or you might have your own stickers at home. Just put them on there, and there you have your treasure pot. So I could keep that maybe by the side of my bed and put my watch in it every night, so that I know that my watch is nice and safe, and I'll know where it is in the morning, rather than running around going, I don't know what I've done with my watch, I've taken it off, I'll put it somewhere. So that's today's craft, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Thanks, Debbie. Those boxes look super cool. That's training task 4 complete, guys. Make sure to tick it off in your logbook. Now, before we end the day, I think we should finish with one last song. Why don't we sing Unstoppable?
I'm certain that nothing can separate us from His love. I'm certain that nothing can separate us from His love. I'm certain that nothing can separate us from His love. I'm certain.
Oh, great dancing, guys. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today. Thanks for coming back for Deep Sea Diver Training, Day 2. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. We've got another awesome adventure and we'll get to meet some mermaids. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye!
We're deep sea divers, we're survivors, a great big team searching for what we need. It's good!